Ed Martel here from overheadathletics.com. Today we're going to work on some active release techniques to try and improve internal rotation. As you know, it's one of the things we often find as a shoulder therapist, that there's internal rotation deficit. So we're going to work on active release techniques, some trigger point release techniques, and make sure you watch all the way to the end so you can get the whole video so you can apply it for your athletes when you're working with them. Ed Martel here from the Overhead Athletic Institute in HealthQuest. Today we're going to be working with an athlete. You can see just when he's in a prone position, you can see scapular wigging, so that's an internal rotation deficit. So we've done a lot of work with glenohumeral mobilizations, active internal rotation exercises, but today we're going to incorporate a little active trigger point release, and then also some active release for the infraspinatus. So often I'll have them start in a comfortable position where they're just letting their arm hang in internal rotation, and I'll work from just medial to the lateral border of the infraspinatus and work my way along this muscle line that you can feel. There's a bony border that you'll just do a little oscillation back and forth, and then usually what I'll do is I'll have the patient or the athlete internally rotate with me, so I'll have him push his elbow to the floor just a tiny bit while I'm working my way up and down the muscle belly. So you're just off the lateral border of the scapula, working your way into the infraspinatus. Sometimes I'll reinforce it with the dummy thumb where I'll put my palm in because my thumb gets tired. So now try and internally rotate. And now push your elbow or your shoulder out of the socket. So push your elbow towards me, so I'll have them do a little active protraction. And I'll work my way up and down the muscle belly. Not exactly comfortable. It's always good to have it done to you first so you can see what kind of pressures you're going to apply to someone who's reactive. And then what I might do after that is I'll say, okay, I'm going to hold that medial inferior portion of the scapula, and then I'll have him push up and do a contract relax. So push your elbow to the sky and relax, and you can feel it release on your own. That's the nice part about it, because when you're working on someone's shoulder and you're trying to get internal rotation, you got to vary your techniques day to day, because sometimes what you did last time is not the thing that's indicated the next time because it's too painful. So push your elbow to the sky, and now push your elbow towards my hip and elbow to the floor. So push that. Now try and pull your shoulder blade back to the center and relax. Then I might do some active release techniques. So now I'm going to have him push his elbow up and down. So elbow goes up and then down. Elbow up and down. So I'll drag the tissue towards the center, towards the medial, and down. So I'll work all the way along that infraspinatus and have him active release. So up and down. I work my way into the posterior lateral deltoid, so up and down, even into the tricep. So up and down, and I'm always reinforcing it with usually a prolonged contract relax, and then activate in the direction where he's lost his range of motion. So up and down. Sometimes you can even apply more force, so you put your elbow right in that border, and now elbow to the sky. And now really internally rotate for me. Now try and lift your wrist off the table. Try and lift your wrist off the table. They're not going to be able to do it. And then relax. And then you have him go ahead and sit up. And you can see from behind when he goes into internal rotation. Now put your arm behind you. Reach over, it's higher. So you get more internal rotation sometimes by varying your techniques, but you got to be very specific with your hand placement and take them to the limits of their range of motion and work in those ranges and use multiple techniques to try and increase their mobility. So your number one goal as a clinician, as someone working with athletes, is to make sure they got full glenohumeral mobility, so their internal rotation path allows their shoulder to articulate inside the socket the way it's supposed to. Go ahead and click on our OAI logo up here on the left and subscribe.